Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion and this here is chapstick. This is candy cane scented and flavored. I picked it up at random. And if you're not new here, what's up my troll fam? I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you are returning or whether or not you're new. You can be anywhere else. You clicked on to see me and I appreciate that. We are going to do an intro. What's on my face because I'm going to forget. Fenty brow pencil. Lower lash line is Prime Prometics eyeliner in black on lower lash line and my lower and upper rims. And we have the Fenty primer and the Fenty foundation. That is everything on my face right now. The intro. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy just knowing it's okay to be yourself. Enjoying doing videos, and if you don't, still just enjoying your time on YouTube, whatever channels that you watch. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. Set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Because here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we are about self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. And so if people want to say whatever they want to say about us because we don't do what they say we should do, how they say we should do it, I'll be a troll. I will be proud to be a troll. So that is the intro. Also, I need to let you know, if you're new here, I do curse in my videos sometimes. Why do you do that, Dion the troll? Because I curse sometimes, period. I do try to catch myself. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if you didn't know, now you know. You know from this title what we're doing today, and I was trying to think of how to do something different. It's only 4 shades, but I'm gonna try and do a darker look. I remember not really liking how one of those shades showed up on me, and I'm kind of thinking we may end up using it again today. And being that it's going to be a dark look, or I'm thinking it'll be a dark look, that's why we put the black underneath. So it is going to be a dark look. And I hope it turns out that way because I've been doing a lot of looks with Sunlit Seduction. And y'all know my vibe is dark, vamp, smoke, messy, grunge, goth, punk, all mixed together. Just give me all of it. And so I'm excited to do something that's more my vibe, hoping it turns out my vibe. So this is the Tom Ford limited edition quad, and this one is 35 Rose Topaz. The only thing rosy in here is the packaging. I don't understand. But we're gonna take Hourglass number 3 and go into this shade, and this is gonna go. They do not have names. Which is okay because I would probably forget to tell you anyway. This is going to go all over our lid. And we are going to take, you know what I just realized? I'm doing inside again. Even though it's the same shade all over the lid, I had been working since the end of June, outward to inward, dark to light. But so I don't know if this counts because this is still dark. But I just realized I'm doing like the opposite again. No, I didn't start on the outside. You know what, y'all? If you have seen my 4 looks, 1 video with Sunlit Seduction, and my 5 look video, yes, y'all, 9 looks. And each one of those, I did talk about like my thoughts about the palette. And after the fact, when I was thinking of stuff that I said in the video, I'm like, this is friggin' weird because it sounded like I was defending the palette, and I'm like, I don't even like pinks. I'm not a collector. I'm not a Stan the Man fan, you know, completionist by any means for any brand. But I'm like, I realized I went on a tangent. Like if you buy it, you know it's pink, so you didn't have to buy it. And if you did and you don't like it, send it back. You don't got to keep it. And I was just like, I was really like, I did have Mountain Dew that day, so maybe that was part of it. But I was just thinking like, I really sound like I'm defending this palette, and that's not even my vibe. And so I thought it was really ironic, and I was wishing that, you know, if I can go back in time, I was wishing that I had realized it at that time, because it was just weird hearing me talk about that palette that way. And but what I said, I still find true, though. If you want something different, you got to do something different. And, you know, for people, and it goes with anything you buy, there's a return policy for a reason usually. And if it's not, just be more conscientious about your purchase. But even still, you don't have to keep it. I am feathering along the top edge just to try to get, well, not to try to get, but to get a blend going. You don't have to keep stuff. Give it away, sell it, Poshmark, Macari, give it to a friend, a neighbor, you know, whatever. The organization I work for, the program Eclectic Beauty, we only take new, unused, and unswatched makeup. But there are some organizations and shelters that will take used makeup. So there's things you could do with stuff that you don't want to keep, or to keep it and know you're not going to use it because you're disappointed in it. I'm like, I understand that it may be me, because if I don't like something, or if I grow away from something, I get rid of it. I declutter stuff like crazy, and there always is a thought process behind why I'm getting rid of what I'm getting rid of. And so I just don't really understand keeping something you're not satisfied with, except if you just want to have it, or you're a collector, you're a completionist. I mean, I get it. You know, collectors collect stuff. If you're a completionist, my question is, okay, what's driving that? What's feeding that? And that's the clinician in me, you know, thinking like, what's the root cause of you wanting to have an entire set of something just to have it, even if you don't like it? You know what I mean? So that's just, you know, a glimpse into how my brain works. I am liking this blend, but I am going to take a blending brush later, I believe, and further blend this out. But I didn't want it. Actually, we'll do that right now. And because this is taking longer than I thought, I'm wondering if I want to edit out doing the other eye. This brush has no shadow on it. It's kind of flat. It's not tapered. A non-tapered blending brush. And so we are blending here. And this is not really blending. This is the shade I think I didn't like how it showed up on me. So I don't really want to put it right here. So that's why I'm trying to just blend out this deepest shade. This is nice. Oh, I'm liking this. So you see we are getting a blend up here, which is pretty cool. And we're going to just kind of feather over here, but I don't want to take it further out. And we are going to use liner. We're just going to use black today. We're going to use black everything as far as mascara and liner. I don't like that I came down too far here, but I'm thinking with liner we can fix that. Or the brush I use for, I didn't powder down. This is the brush we used for primer and concealer. I'm sorry, excuse me. Primer and foundation, and I did mix it. I don't know if that's helping. So what we're going to do, we're going to take another small brush. This is the primer and foundation that's left, and it's kind of dry, but we're going to just do a line. I can't see straight because it still doesn't look straight. I don't know. It's like something like right here that seems to bump out. We're going to leave that because I don't want to make it worse. But I am liking how we do have the blend. What I was thinking is if you were to take from Sunlit any of those celestial shades, just put it on the lid and up into the transition here, but maintain this blend that's up top, I think that would be pretty. And that is something that if I paired it with any of the first three motherships, because they all have extreme black in it, I think that would look really nice. I'm happy with that blend. I am digging it. So we're gonna move over to the other eye. So yeah, it was really weird, like hearing myself talking about that palette, because I'm like, it's not even for me. But I was interested in it, and I am glad that I have it. And I'm gonna stop talking about it because I talked about it enough in those videos. If you haven't seen them, they're in a playlist. Everything is in a playlist. Like every palette that I have is in a playlist. And so if you wanna just browse through, you know, they're easy to find. And for every palette that I get, I do work through it systematically, making sure I use every shade at least twice. And I hope that that's helpful, because I see videos, they do 2 looks and they're like, well, we use 5 shades out of the 10 for these 2 looks, and then they give you their overall impressions of the palette. But I'm like, you didn't even use the whole palette, and it was only 2 looks. And so that's why I knocked out like so many looks, because I really want to see what a palette can do, or what I can do with it, with my skill set, you know what I mean? And also because I don't use my fingers for makeup. I don't ever wet my brush. The most I'll do is use a sponge tip applicator. And so for how I do my makeup, you know, I just want to see what I can do with it, and just hope that it inspires someone, that it's helpful to someone, you know, when they're considering purchasing the palette I'm using. Or don't even do that if you have a similar color story, just duping out some of those colors. Or not even, like how I'm doing this is a deep brown, it looks like. You can just use a lighter brown if you don't want your shade this dark. If you don't want to shadow this dark, take a lighter brown. And we are going to top it with this. You don't have to have these exact shades. If you want a lighter look, take a lighter brown, and then take a lighter tan or whatever that is, and top it. So it doesn't have to be exact. You know, tweak things. See how this side goes up and this side goes out? So that means we got to bring this side down a little bit. This is what I wanted on this side, but it didn't work out that way. So we're going to bring this side down, and I think we just did it. So we're going to leave that like that. So, you know, that's something to think about too. When you see new releases and things, think about, do you have that color story? And it seems like most of the looks for whatever the color story is, with the exception of few people that I watch and that I've taken notice of, they do monochromatic looks, and they're very pretty. They're very pretty, and you can't go wrong with it, because all the colors kind of, it's all in the same color family, or they all just kind of blend together. So they are really easy looks to do. But, you know, I want something different, and I want to see something different. Something like, oh, I think Makeup for Lost Time, Vixen Ghoul, or Ghoul Vixen, Melina from on Instagram, Gel Beauty 87, Annette's Makeup Corner, Baddie Bean, those types of looks. You know what I'm saying? And when I see new palettes, it's like, yes, the look is really pretty, but I'm like, you can probably do that. Well, not to them, but I'm saying to you, you can probably do that with other stuff you already have. Like, do you need that palette to create, you know, a shimmery green, purple, monochromatic look? Chances are you don't. And I understand when you see things in a palette, it's like, oh my goodness, that palette is amazing, it's bomb, I'm getting it. But when I see the looks, I'm like, or if they're on Instagram and I'm scrolling through, I'm like, they did this look like 10 times already with different palettes. Like, and I know we get into a groove, we do things a certain way, and so our looks are going to come out the same. Makeup and Chaos, they do really amazing looks too, and I love how they wing their shadow out. Very bold, very vibrant looks, definitely different, and I love the technique. I love how they do their shadow. I don't have that skill set, and it's automatic. Like how I automatically go round, they automatically do the wing shadow, and it is lovely, and it's different, and it's bold, and it's vibrant, and it's bright, and I'm like, give me that. You know what I mean? And still, even with that, how my looks end up rounded, except when I made it a point to try to have it not go rounded, you know, the shapes are going to be the same, but that doesn't mean everything has to always flow together into this like muted monochromatic look. And so I'm hoping this makes sense, and no shade and no shame, because they are very pretty looks. If that's where you live, that's where you live. I mean, and it's fine. You know, this makeup community is huge. There is a place for everybody. And so just do your thing. Do your thing and just rock it. This, I'm liking this. This right here looks different than over here. And I think it's my brow shape. Or do I need to blend more right here? I don't know. But I'm going to leave, and you guys are probably like, I don't see what you're saying. I was about to tap in, but I didn't. I want to go back to the brush that had that shadow on it, and we're just going to feather. Because I want to bring it up just a little. Oh, I think we did. Oh, okay. Put the brush down, troll. Okay. Yeah. I'm digging it. And I don't always dig what I do. Appreciate, there's times, now we're going to go into this one, and we're going to top the lid. This is a dense shader brush. I've said before, we can be our worst critic, and I do believe I am mine. And you know, I'll say things like, okay, this blend, I don't like it, or this color combination I did. One of the Salem Cosmetics Forest Heart palette looks, I'm sitting here like, this is completely busted. And I did one look on each eye. And some of y'all were like, the busted look is my favorite. And I'm like, but then I get it and I see it, because the look did grow on me. But when I first did it, it was just like, ugh. And I think it was because that lime green was like all the way up here. And that's not something I normally do. And the look got away from me. I kept trying to fix it. But it did grow on me. If it was intentional, I think I would have felt different about it initially versus, nah, this isn't working. And I kept trying to fix it. It got worse. But some of y'all were like, that was your favorite out of the two looks that I did in that video. And it is encouraging, because I'm going to do a look. And some of y'all are just like, we love it. We love this. We love that. We like this. We like that. And then there's some people that'll just comment no. And I say, I appreciate you watching. Thank you for being here, because them watching it supports my channel, whether they like the video or not. Them commenting is engagement for my channel. So either way, it's supporting my channel and it's helping my channel. And that's why, you know, some people say thumbs up or thumbs down. It's engagement. Either way. I guess if you thumbs down, YouTube will maybe, I think the concept is, if you thumbs down, they'll show you less of that type of content. And if you thumbs up, the algorithm will show you more of that type of content. And for people who you're watching, like if you thumbs up this video, it'll show you other people that do this type of look, or maybe people who've used Tom Ford quads, that type of thing. So it helps me in the algorithm, because if you're watching, and the same is in reverse, if you're watching somebody else do a Tom Ford video quad, mine's may pop up. If you search Tom Ford quads, I may pop up in your algorithm because you like somebody else's video that did a Tom Ford quad. And so that's the idea with the thumbs up or thumbs down. The algorithm will show you more of what you say you like and less of what you say you don't like. But either way, it shows engagement for that channel. Watching shows engagement. It gives watch time. Thumbs up, thumbs down shows engagement, and also comments. And comments don't have to be verbal. It can be an emoji. It can be a troll emoji. It can be a heart. It can be a thumbs up. And so if you're not able, or if you're just like on the go, you know, just put a waving emoji or a troll emoji. And so those are things that help us out. I think I have fallout. Do I? From that, I don't know what shade it is. And you guys probably don't see it, but I see some here. We're going to scrape. It's not much here, but we're going to scrape and we're going to press, because I'm seeing some darkness under here. That's not my under eye discoloration. I'm waiting for this to break any day now, because this, I wish this was still or not steel, aluminum, because I really like this one, but it's more challenging. Sorry for the glare. It's more challenging to hold, where this one I can just put my finger through it. So I like the design of it. And there are some aluminum ones or steel or whatever that material is that they do have a thumb hole, so you can put your thumb through it and hold it, which is great, I think, if you're a makeup artist. But this is handy because then I can hold other things and do other things without losing my grip on this little palette. And where it came from, we're not going to talk about it. So that is that. Now we're going to, I'm not even going, we're going to take that brush again that we used to blend, even though there's no shadow on it. Because I'm wondering if I do want to take that shadow up here, one of the lighter shades, but I don't think so. I think it'll mess up the look. And so the choices are this one or this one. What we're going to do, I think I'm about to make a mistake. We're going to take this one. Shit. I think I'm going to make a mistake. And we're going to get as close to the lash line, not the lash line, my brow as possible, which is easy right here because we're already there. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. And I am just using just the tip of the brush, and we're just going right up against the brows without disturbing the brow pencil. We're going to go back to the brush that we use for blending with no shadow on it, and we're going in small circular motion. So just to kind of buff that, to kind of blend it together. You know what? I like this look. This is what I was kind of missing. I know I got loud and I apologize. Because using like the lighter shades, like the sunlit shades and all of that, like this is where I live. And I was looking at this palette, and I did look at the picture of the other look I did with it, and I'm just like, So what can we do different? Because there's only 4 shades, and we did use all 4 last time. But this, yeah, this is where I live. Why did I have this brush here? Because I thought I was going to do transition. I got loud again. I'm excited. It does not take me much. I'm going to take another one of these. This is a clean one. Do I want to take this one or this one underneath? I think I'm going to take a more tapered brush. All right, we're going to take 2 because I think we're going to take the dark one and then layer it maybe. Or no, we're just going to make up your mind, girl. Make up your mind. We're just going to take this one since this is already dark. We don't need to add a black, I don't think. And I should have probably used a fluffier brush. I hope this doesn't give me fallout because there's no more foundation on that palette. I like this. Oh, okay, rose topaz. And I realized in the other video I kept calling it rose quartz. It's called rose topaz. I don't know why. I'm as thrown off as the name. I like that shimmer it put under there. If I wanted to be funky, which I don't today, surprisingly, I was thinking, what if I put OK Boomer? Yes, Dawn. OK Boomer. That's forever going to be a running joke. I really believe so. It's a silver. Part of me wants to do it, but once I do it, there's no coming back from it. And when I say funky, I mean funky in a good way. I think it really would like set off the look like bam. But for this to be approachable, I'm liking that term better. I have an issue with the word wearable because if you wear it, it's wearable. And so I really was not understanding what people meant, except to say I understood it to mean it was safe. Like you can wear it anywhere and people won't look at you like you're crazy. But if they look at you like you're crazy, so what? I don't care. But that's just me. that's just me. We're gonna take the brush we used for the up here with no shadow on it. We're gonna buff under here. So to me, and I heard somebody say, you know, such and such is more approachable. And I'm like, you know what? I like that. So I very seldom say wearable, because if you wear it, it's wearable. If you wear a smoky look, it's wearable. If you wear goth looks, it's wearable. If you wear messy grunge look, if you wear it, it's wearable. And so I'm like, what do they mean wearable? If you wear it, it's wearable. And I was thinking about shoes. My feet are two different sizes. One is a 10.5 regular as far as width, and the other one is a 10 wide. And so growing up, once I hit teenage years, I had to get 10.5s, but one was always still a little bit bigger. And I like how this is blowing down this shade. And when I got older, places stopped selling 10.5s, and so I would have to get 11s, and one foot would fit and one foot wouldn't. The 10.5 foot would fit the 11, but the 10 wide foot wouldn't fit. It would be like a 1/2 inch too long in the back of the shoe where my heel was, and my heel would pop out the shoe, especially if I was wearing heels. But yeah, so I put on a size 11 and I can wear it as wearable. If I put on a size 9 shoe, I can't get it on. It's not wearable. So you see what I'm saying? If I can get it on, regardless of what other people may think, it's wearable. If I can't fit it, like putting on a pair of jeans and I can't button them up, those are not wearable. If I can put them on and button them up, even though my stomach hang might bend over to buckle, you know, put on a puffy shirt to cover it, it's wearable because I can still wear it. I hope I'm making sense. And I hope this is helping you think about when people say whether it's wearable or not. And I have just a tiny bit of fallout, but I don't think it's super noticeable. So what we're going to do now, so we've used one for just up here, this all over the lid, topped with that. And I like this look. Could I do this with something else? Probably. We're going to use MAC's Paint Pot in Black Mirror. I sometimes think to either get rid of this or get rid of the Fenty Fly Liner, the shade Cause I'm Black, because it is black. And this is black. And so I sometimes think of getting rid of that, and I think when that runs out, maybe I won't. These paint pots last for years, and even though it's a cream, they last for years. My label says this expired June this year. Today, this is August something, and it still works fine. Doesn't irritate my lids. It's still creamy. You see how it went on with no problems. I didn't even dip back in yet. Yeah, MAC products last a long time. The regulation, unless they changed it since I last looked at it, if a makeup product is supposed to be good for more than 36 months after you open it, they do not have to put a POA on the packaging. The POA is when you see the open container on your skincare or makeup, and there's a number in it and there's a letter. It's usually 6M, 12M, 18M. That means 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months. Or if there's a 3M, it's 3 months. The container is open because that's how long the package, well, that item should be good for after you open it. And so, as far as I know from what I saw last I looked, which was a while ago, if something is supposed to last longer after you open it than 36 months, they don't have to put the PAO on the packaging. And I noticed with MAC, a lot of their packages don't have a PAO. So that tells you after you open it, it should last longer than 3 years. And that to me is just like, whoa. They do have batch numbers on their products, which makeup and skincare is supposed to. So if there's issues with something and it's with the same batch number, they know, okay, we need to recall this or pull this off the market. So that's what the batch number is for. But also there's websites you can go to and you can put in your batch number for makeup or skincare, and it'll tell you when it was made, when it was manufactured. And that's helpful too, because even though like this should be good longer than 3 years after I open it, the batch number may tell me this was made 5 years ago, but still it was never open. But it will tell you when it was made and how long it should last or when it should expire. And so I find that very fascinating, as you can tell, because I just spit all of that out. So I hope that was, if you didn't know, I hope that that was interesting to you to find out. And what are we going to do now? We're going to, I moved my stuff again. Oh, you know what? I did declutter my Mario bronzer and blush. We're going to put on the Lancome Cils Boost Mascara base. I just realized I didn't even finish my face. I bundled it with the LYS bronzer, which to me was a contour, and the Mario highlighter. And so now, like, if you're interested in that, and I did increase the price because there's 4 products in there now instead of just the LYS and the Mario highlighter. So it's the LYS bronzer that for me was a contour, and Makeup by Mario bronzer, blush, and the highlighter. So if you're like my skin tone and you liked how those things looked on me, check out my Mercari store for that and other stuff. And if you're viewing me here on YouTube and you do want anything from in my Mercari store, message me before you buy it and let me know that, you know, you're one of my troll fam, and I will negotiate, because normally I don't. But if you're here and you're supporting me, I will negotiate with you. And so I am loving this look. I have a cheek situation planned out, something I haven't used in a while. I feel a lot of stuff I haven't used in a while from when I did Month of McGrath, and then even after Month of McGrath in July, I was still using McGrath because then Sunlit came out. I did all of those looks with that, and then I had the nerve to pair the Seduction palettes. I already had done Bronze Seduction and Moonlit Seduction, thankfully, because I'm like, when can I be done with this palette? But I just wanted to just do all the things and not set it aside and then, you know, 2 weeks later be like, oh, I still need to go back and do it. So it was kind of just like, I just wanted to get it done. And so thankfully, Bronze Seduction and Moonlit Seduction were already done. There's already a pairing. And so then I paired Moonlit Seduction with Sunlit Seduction. And why do I feel like I'm missing something? Bronze Seduction with Sunlit Seduction. And I did put those in the Month of McGrath only because we did pairings for part 2. I put them in the Month of McGrath playlist. And of course, Sunlit has his own playlist. Bronze Seduction has his own playlist. Every palette has his own playlist. So if you're just interested in one particular palette, and this is for all the brands that I have, which is only like a handful, well, more than a handful, less than a dozen brands. So if you're interested in a particular palette from a particular brand that I have, it's easy for you to find. The cheek situation, do I want to powder down? I do want to powder down. So we're just going to use the Hourglass. Are we? Yeah, we're going to use the Hourglass. I just love how this dispenses. We're going to use this brush, which I like it for loose powder. I don't like it for other powders because it is flimsy. You see this but it was good for loose powders. This is the Scott Barnes brush. I don't recommend it, but you know what? I'll say it depends on how you do your makeup, because if you just want a light dusting, this is going to give you a very light dusting. I have a Sephora brush that's shaped like this, but it is thick, and I love that for bronzer because you can get like right here and feather it out. And you can do that with this too, but because this is such a flimsy brush, it doesn't really hold product, which is what makes it good for loose powders, because you want to get the powder on your face. And so I'm just turning the brush different kind of ways, you know, put some here, and then go back and blend it out. So I do like this brush for that, but I could have did with one of these. And when I initially got it, I was trying to get a fill for it, and then there was another 30% off sale, so I bought a second one. So I have 2 of them, but they're not my favorites. And this is the first time I've used this, and I don't know how long since I last used this brush. What I was just thinking too was if I did a red liner, oh, that would be vampy. But we already put black on. So if you wanted to turn this into a club look, which we're not going to do, okay, boomer. If you wanted to go vampy, let me grab it as quick as possible. If you wanted to go vampy, red for upper lash line. This is what I'm thinking of doing, y'all. Y'all know I am. Y'all know I am, but I'm not. I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to be approachable. Is that the word? Not wearable, approachable. I don't even remember what it was now because that's not my word. But I can't, okay. We're going to use the Lethal Cosmetics Solstice Face Palette. This shade is Caldera, this is Enchanopis, and this is Gravity, if I'm reading my notes correctly. This bronzer, she deep. Oh, and I'm always like, damn. And I don't use it often because of this. Like, this is extremely pigmented. It blends out well, though. But you see that line where I first did the... And I don't use it often because of that. So, honestly, you see, this was the tip of the brush. And when I went to sweep it, this line right here, that's the edge of the brush. I mean, where it slopes inward. Like, this... I wish it was a little, I want to say I wish it was a little lighter, but it does blend out well. But you see, like, you see what I'm doing to the brush, and you can probably hear it. Listen, sounds like I'm brushing my hair. I have to work it, but it does blend well. But I just have to, my initial swoosh is like, girl. And even here, you can still see like the line right here. But once we put blush on, and highlighter, and I am taking it up like it's a blush. I'm just trying to blend it, like, and it blends nice. But I have to work it. So I do wish it was a little lighter because then I wouldn't have to work it. And I don't know if you can pop, yeah, you can pop these out. It has a hole in the back. So part of me is like, just get a single. But then I'm like, no, because then I would waste this one and not use it at all. So we're just gonna tap the tip into it. And very lightly come back here behind where my hair is, my little peak thingy that's always crooked. I need to cut my hair again. And it is overdue. It is overdue. I cut it every 2 to 3 weeks. I was waiting. It's been like 2.5 weeks already. I was waiting because I have someone visiting me, and then this week, Thursday to Sunday, and then next week I think I have something going on. And so I was trying to pace it to where when I was more busy, I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta cut my hair. Look, y'all, it takes me only 10 minutes to cut my hair. So like, what's the big deal? It's just one more thing to do in a day. You know what I mean? See, now this is nice, right? But you saw, and you can still see like that initial touchdown right here. Or maybe it's the light, I don't know, but I see. So let me just tap straight in and put that right here, and it's still not. And I can see it down here in the mirror too. Like this is serious. Like this. I tapped in, and we're going to do across the forehead. Yeah, part of me wants to get a lighter shade, and then part of me is like, no, because that would be like the only thing as of right now and I would purchase from the brand. And coming from overseas, you know, shipping can be expensive unless you order enough for free shipping. And so it's a deterrent for me just to be like, oh, just this one thing. Like if I can just get this one thing, like at Ulta, it would be a no-brainer. I would just get it. Not right now because I'm on a no-buy, but you know, to order one thing. And still, because it's online, I don't know how it's really going to look on me. Well, look, period, in person until I get it. So that's the other thing. And I took a chance on this palette. You see how much work I'm putting into this? So what I need to do, I just learned something. What I need to do is place it sideways and not straight and then come in. Because you see how straight it makes this line right here. But then when I turn it, that's what created this line right here. So I need to remember when I use this, just start off sideways and don't start off straight. Start off this way because this is not blending in. And I am just going to do sideways right now just to see if we can get that line out of there and just come down instead of how and now that part is like super dark. So we're going to tap in on the other side and lay it. I'm hoping this helps. I'm keeping this in because this is a learning process for me, and it might help you if you have trouble I'm starting to sweat. We're going to take Caldera. Is that it? Did I say it right? No, this is Caldera. This is Enchanapis. We're going to take this, and I am just pressing in. Lethal don't play, y'all. I was going to say why I went ahead and got rid of the Mario blush and the highlighter. I swatched out the Mario blushes against my other blushes, and it was different than all the ones that I have, which is not a lot. It was very similar to one, but not so much so that I would notice if I wore one on one cheek and one on the other. And I didn't have an exact dupe for the bronzer, but the bronzers that I have, the Pat McGrath one, the House Labs one, the Hourglass ones, I'm like, you know, I could do without it. And I tapped back in lightly because I wanted to get right here. And so that's all in the store. Now we're going to take a highlighting brush and we're going to take this shade Gravity. Y'all, this... I'm thinking this cheek situation might be too much for the eye because it's bold. And I have an idea for a lip. I'm going to take the brush that we use for the loose powder, not adding anything to it, and we're just going to do this. I'm going to take, this is something I didn't plan to do. We're going to take an Hourglass powder, whichever one I grab first. Radiant Light. It shows it more rosy than Dim Light. Because Radiant is radiant and Dim Light is dim. But we're going to use this as a finishing powder. I like how this just, everything just, it just goes, it just, everything just evens out everything. Why is my under eye looking funky? She gonna stay funky. I have two lips from Sephora that I still needed to use. These two. Y'all know I want to do a black. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the darker, we're going to take this one. Y'all know I want to take the darker one, but we're still trying new things. And what I'm thinking, I'm going to tap that center lid shade, the lid topper shade, and put on top of it. That's what we're thinking. So that's why I'm not going to do a black lip, even though I think, you know what? Max Caviar and putting that dual chrome MAC, we're going to do it. I'm putting this down. Forget this thing. Because you know what? Because I'm just really feeling just all of this. This, what did I pick up? Ill. Not to say ill. Oh, here it is. All right, so Max Caviar. I'm gonna edit this out because I don't think I'm gonna be able to talk and do this. And I think I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna edit this out. We're gonna take On and On. Got this at the CCO. It was the last one they had. I just watched this before. Oh, this is so pretty. The lips are dry, but not feeling dry. I should say the liquid lipstick is dry. I think also Bronze Venus would look nice over this because this would play off of the shine on the lid, whereas this is giving it like that greeny dual chrome. But I like it. I'm here for it. Y'all know I am feeling it. Y'all know I'm feeling it. This is the finished look for today using, if you can imagine, Tom Ford. Tom doesn't do smoky. And this again is 35 Rose Topaz. We smoked it out. I do kind of wish I would have left the lip matte, but I'm still digging it. Or even, as I said, tapping this over it, because then that would have tied it in with that. Do we still want to do that? Girl, can we go now? You done held us captive long enough. I'm just taking this big brush because the first one I picked. You know what? No. Okay, let's just do it because we're here now. So on the brush. Ah, that's nice. So what was the point in putting the bullet lipstick on top of it? Because I was excited for that combination. But this is nice. And it does tie in with the eye look. We are done. Thank you for being here. Let me know your thoughts. If you have Tom Ford Rose Topaz, let me know what you think about it. I am ecstatic because this is me. This is me. So all that other stuff we did the last week or so, it was nice. It was different. I'm glad for the experience. But getting back to me, thank you for being here. A lot of links below, a lot of information below. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Comments, I do reply back to everyone, even if it's just a heart. What else? If you're curious about joining, just click to see what the perks are, and if it appeals to you, you know, that's there. And that'll be it. But oh man, I'm gonna look at you and stop looking at myself, girl. Anyway, as always, self-acceptance and self-love. Yes, I got loud again. I'm so excited. Self-acceptance and self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you for being here, and you will see me soon.